Hello. So I'm just going to take you through a yoga class today that's really focused on opening up the hips and stretching out the hamstrings. So it will be great for you if you do a lot of running, cycling, anything at all like that, or even if you're just sitting down all day, that can cause some tightness in the hips and maybe even the lower back. So yeah, the idea is to just get into those areas and loosen them off. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit better after today's class. So if we begin, if you've got a yoga mat and you want to pop one down, you can use it. I'll be giving kind of visual aids to the top and the bottom of the mat if you are using it. Obviously, I've not got one here today, but just going along with as if I do. Okay, so starting off, we are going to start in child's pose. So to get the child's pose, you want your hands up the top of the mat. Bring your toes together and let your knees just fall open. So they're just outside hip width apart. From here, we're then just sinking the hips back, keeping the toes together and letting the knees fall open. Okay, with the fingers, you want them reaching up to the top of the mat. And then try and relax the shoulders and maybe even relax the chin or the forehead on the floor. For some of you, this might feel quite a nice release in the hips already. Okay, you might feel quite a stretch going on here, maybe the hips or the lower back, maybe the shoulders. I'm just going to spend a few breaths just breathing into this posture. Just try and allow your body to relax. And so in all the postures that we go through today, using the breath will help you relax a little bit deeper into the posture. Okay, so nice deep breaths. Try not to hold it if you're struggling with any of the postures. Deep inhale and exhale and just invite your body to relax. The more you relax, the deeper you will get into any of the postures. And from there, we're then just going to start to slowly walk the fingers over to the left side of the mat. Still reaching up to the top. And then now you're just going to feel a nice stretch all the way down the right side of the body. So just breathing into that. Still trying to keep the hips as low as we can. And then exhale, just bring it back through center, and now we'll go to the right. Okay, so gently walking the fingers forward and over to the right. Nice. And when you're ready, let's just meet back in center. Then you're just going to exhale up and roll back into a tabletop position. Okay, so in my tabletop position, I want my knees underneath my hips and my hands underneath my shoulders. From here, I'm going to tuck the toes and then lift up off into a high plank. Okay, so as we're in high plank, make sure that the hands are spread wide at the bottom. So nice and wide through the palms. Think about really pushing the ground away from you. Okay, so stay nice and active. Keeping the core engaged, belly button drawn back in towards the spine and think nice and long. Okay, we're just holding here for another 30 seconds. And then we're going to exhale and push back into a downward facing dog. So in a downward facing dog, your palms are still spread wide. Hips facing up and trying to make that upside down V with the body. Okay, you might want to loosen off the hamstrings a little if you're feeling tight by walking the dog. That's bending left, bending right. Okay, just getting a little bit of movement up the back of the legs here. And then try and ground the heels down, hips back. Imagine your belly's coming to your thighs. It's okay if your knees aren't straight, so you might have a slight bend in them, just enabling you to get the hips high. Spend a few more breaths here, breathing into any areas of tension that you might feel up the back of the leg or maybe even in the back. And then on your next exhale, we're going to start to walk the feet in towards the hands. Okay, so they might come up to the top of your mat if you've got a mat there. We're just going to let the upper body hang heavy and try and relax into a forward fold position. Okay, again, your knees might be slightly soft. You might have a wee bit of a bend, that's okay. You just want to be feeling that stretch all the way up the backs of the legs. From here, we're then just going to clasp hold of the hands to opposite elbows. And this just allows the head to hang a little bit heavier. Relax the upper body, and once again, just think of that belly coming to the thighs. And once again, you might want to create a little bit of movement by swaying the elbows side to side. And just gently breathing into any areas of tension that you're feeling up the back of the legs. Nice. Cool. And exhale and release the arms. From there, we're going to come into what we call a halfway lift. So hands come to the thighs and think nice and long through the spine. So imagine someone's pulling you from the crown of the head here. Strong core. And I'm almost creating like a 90-degree angle with my body. Okay, so halfway lift. Hands to thighs. And exhale, forward fold once more, feeling that stretch up the back of the hamstrings. And inhale, swan dive up to standing nice and tall. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of sun salutations just to warm up the body. First of all, create a little bit of movement, and then we'll focus on getting into some of those deeper stretches that they will hold for a little bit longer. Okay, so first sun salutation, we'll do a wee bit slower if you've not done them before, and then we'll start to pick up the pace a little bit. Okay, so inhale, let your hands fall by your sides, stand nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. And then from there, inhale, swoop the arms up, maybe taking a little back bend at the top. Exhale, forward fold like we just did, hands to floor. Exhale, halfway lift, nice and long through the spine. Inhale, forward fold, hands to the floor. Then from here we can hop or step back into your high plank. Okay, so same as before, nice and long through the body. This time you're going to keep the elbows in, so they're brushing against your rib cage. We're going to bend them slow as we lower to the floor. Okay, untuck the toes. Exhale into cobra. Okay, so cobra, push the ground away from you. Shoulders relaxed, keeping your gaze forwards. Okay, your cobra might not be up here, it might be down here, that's okay, just wherever, as long as you're feeling nice little back bend there. And then we'll lower together, elbows still in, this time tuck the toes, exhale, push back up, downward facing dog. Okay, we're back into the down dog. Again, just take a few breaths here and maybe noticing how this one feels compared to your last down dog. And when you're ready, this time we're going to softly bend the knees and then hop or step the feet up to meet the hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, reach up. And back to your starting point. Okay, so that is your sun salutation. We're going to do 2 more of them at a little bit quicker pace. We just want to get our muscles nice and warm before we get into some of the deeper stretches, okay? That allows us to go a little bit deeper. So you can either follow my lead, or if you know the sequence, that you can do it by yourself at your own pace. Okay, so inhale, reach up, back bend. And exhale, forward fold, hands to floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor. Jump or step back, high plank. Lower down through chaturanga and baby cobra or upward dog. Relax the shoulders and exhale. Send the hips back. Downward facing dog. Just taking 2 more breaths here. Trying to get the heels down and push the ground away. Pushing that belly to the thighs. And when you're ready, softly bend the knees, hop or set the feet up to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, swoop the arms all the way up, back bend, and back to center. Nice, guys. Okay, we have 1 more, just like that. So inhale, reach up, back bend, exhale. Swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. High plank. Bend the elbows, come through cobra. And exhale, send the hips back. Downward dog. And breathe. When you're ready, softly bend the knees and hop the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swan dive the arms all the way up. And bring them back to heart center. Excellent. Nice, guys. Okay, so we're going to start with a couple of standing postures. So if you're using a mat, we're just going to step to the side of the mat. Okay, so our long ways on the mat. We want our feet to be parallel. So toes and heels in one line, or if you want a wee bit more from the stretch, you can bring your feet to be pigeon-toed, and that's toes in, heels out. Okay, so you've got several options here, just taking the legs as wide as comfortable. From there, we're either going to bring the hands to the hips, or if you want to use a wee bit more core strength, bring the arms out wide. Okay, from here, we're going to imagine that someone is pulling us from the crown of the head and pull all the way down. Okay, so really find that length in the spine before you fold forwards. Get nice and long. Allow the weight to come through the head. When you get to the bottom, again, your hands can either be on your hips, or if they're out wide, you might want to grab hold of the outside of the foot or the calf, wherever's available to you, and then just gently pull the chest in. Okay, so again, we're thinking of getting that belly to the thigh. And just breathe here. Okay, this is a great posture for releasing any tension in the lower back and up the back of the legs, from which I'm sure you'll be feeling it now. Again, we're just going to use the breath here. So inhale, think nice and long through the spine. And then as we exhale, this time try and pull the body in a little bit closer to the thigh. Okay, so just creating a little bit of pressure there to deepen that stretch. Okay, when you're ready, if your arms were on your legs or feet, take them back out to the sides, out nice and long, and imagine someone's pulling you up through the crown of the head. We're coming up nice and slow, arms out wide. Okay, from there we're going to stay in this star shape. We're going to bend the arms, so at the elbows, bring them up, and then just pivot your feet. So that now, instead of being pigeon-toed or parallel, your toes are pointing out and your heels are pointing in. Okay, then from there, imagine that our back is against the wall. Okay, so we want our back flat against that wall, and it's going to continue to be flat against the wall as we bend down into this goddess posture. Okay, the thing that might happen is your knees might want to cave in. Make sure we're pushing them out and keeping the back flat against that wall. Okay, now we're going to waken up the legs here just a tad. So stay low, push the knees out, and inhale, lift up onto the right toes. And exhale, drop. Inhale, left toes. Exhale, drop. Inhale, both toes come up. And exhale, drop, and up we come. Nice, well done guys. Okay, give your legs a little shake out after that. And then we're just going to find ourselves back in that posture, maybe not quite as wide, okay, with the foot stance. From there this time, bring your hands to heart center. Still imagining that there's that wall behind us, our back is flat, our knees come out, and this time we're slowly coming down into a squat. So we're going to come all the way into a yogi squat. You might need to readjust your feet, so bring them in, take them out, wherever you're at. Just try and get comfortable. I know this might be quite an intense posture for a lot of you, especially if your hips are tight. Might not look like that either. You might be up here, okay, and that's fine. Just wherever you're at, listen to your body, breathing into it. Okay, and we've got an extra little move here. So take the right hand out, take the left hand up and reach. I'll not hold you here for long, and switch the left hand out, right hand up and reach. Nice. Okay guys, well done. If you haven't already, you can come down into a seated position. Okay, from your seated position, we are taking the left knee into the chest and then just take the right leg out long. Okay, from there we're going to inhale, get nice and long through the spine, reaching the arms up, try and have the shoulders down and relaxed away from the ears. And then as we exhale, we're going to fold forwards, okay, and try and reach for that right toe. You might want, it might actually be the calf or the knee, you might not quite get the toes. But if you're not at the toes, just make sure that the right toes are still pointing up the way. Okay, so pointing up to the ceiling or sky and keeping this knee in nice and close. Okay, again, you might look slightly different. You might be out here, that's okay, just wherever is available to you. If you have your knee in and you want to take another option, your option here is to take the left arm round that knee. Take the right arm round the body and create a bind behind you. Again, if you've got a strap or maybe a towel or anything that you can grab onto, if you can't quite interlace your hands, you can use that as well behind the body and just grab onto it and pull. And we're just going to relax here, just let the upper body fold forward and again get nice and long through the spine. And when you're ready, if you had the bind, just release the bind with the hands. And we're just going to take the left leg out long now and then bring the right knee into the chest. So right foot flat on the floor. Inhale, reach both arms up nice and long through the spine. And exhale, both arms fold forward. Okay, try and keep that right sit bone seated as well. Try not to let it come up and twist. You want two hips as much as in one line as you can, okay? Get nice and long, reaching for that toe. Again, if you've got a strap, this is another way that you can use it. You can put the strap around your toe or foot and pull onto it. Okay, so if you've got a strap or towel, you can grab it, you can pause the video and then come back and do the movement with a strap or towel if you're not quite getting there. And second option, if we're going for it, take the right arm behind the knee, take the left arm behind the knee, and just folding forwards. Chest comes to belly. Letting the upper body relax. Nice. And release. Okay, nice. From there, we're going to keep this left right foot where it is, sorry. And then, so right foot is bent, but we're going to take the right hand and take it onto the outside of the right foot. From there, I'm just going to take my right knee back as far as comfortable. Okay, so imagine that I'm using my foot almost as a telephone, might be quite a good, a good image for it. So we're trying to get your foot up to the ear and the knee back. Okay, keeping this leg out long. Okay, and don't worry, again, as always, don't worry about how far up the foot comes. You might only come to here. As long as you're feeling that kind of movement in the hip and that kind of opening in the hip as we come up. Good. Okay, we're going to do 2 more of these. Foot to ear. Foot to ear. And then this time I'm going to move it in slightly just so you can hopefully see a wee bit better. This time I'm going to imagine that my right foot is a baby and I'm going to crank it into the elbow of my left. Okay, so now I'm rocking the foot or rocking the baby. Okay, getting a little bit deeper into the hips again. Okay, so again, you might not look like how it's looking on screen. You might be down here or a little bit further away from it. Your foot might not even make your elbow joint, but we're going as close to this as we can. If it's not available to you, we're just moving back and forward with one arm, okay? And just spend a wee bit of time here, just rocking that baby, rocking the foot back and forward, really working into the hip socket, creating that movement there that we don't often get in our body if we're seated all day or doing anything that causes a lot of tension in the hips. Just want to release all of that tension. Nice. Okay, and when you're ready, just take the foot back, take it out long, just place it next to the left leg on the ground and just take note of how your 2 legs are feeling. I always feel after this posture that my right leg that I've just worked actually feels a little bit longer than my left leg. You might even notice it looking out straight at your toes where they sit. Okay, I'm just going to move the video down just a wee tad so you can see it a wee bit better. And then we're just going to repeat that on the other side. Okay, so sitting nice and tall, and then we're just going to start off just imagining now your left foot is a telephone. So we're bringing that knee behind us and the foot up as close to the ear as you can. Again, if you're only getting like down here, that's fine. We're still feeling it in the hip. That's all that you want from your practice. You just want to be feeling your body working, feeling the opening happening, and then in time, you will get more mobile, more flexible, and you'll be able to go a little bit further into the postures, which is the whole point of yoga. It just takes practice, and that's why it's called yoga practice. Nice. And let's just go 2 more here. 2. And then from there, we'll just bring that left foot round and just cradle the foot like a little baby. And as we're in this posture, guys, just make sure that the left toes are still pointing up, so try not let them point down, okay? We want to stay active through the stretch. And try and make sure both your sit bones are on the ground. We're not twisting and pivoting, leaning more on one. We're sitting up nice and tall through the spine, as tall as we can in this posture. And again, just working nice and deep into the hip. Okay, this might feel quite intense for some of you. But yes, it is a very, very hip opening class. So that is totally normal. But the more that you do it, as I said, the better it will feel. Okay, just a few more here. And exhale, bring that foot back down and release. Okay, and just once again, let both the legs be long on the mat, on the floor. And then from there, we're just going to step them out wide, okay, as wide as comfortable. We are going to point the toes up to the ceiling, bring the hands to the centre, and then imagine, again, someone's pulling you from the crown of the head and you're going to hinge from the hips and just walk the fingers forward, staying active through the legs, so still pointing the toes up to the ceiling and just coming down as far as comfortable. Imagining that your chest is on the floor, even though it may be very, very far from the floor, that's okay, as long as you're feeling a stretch up the back of the hamstrings. And this one is a really good one to focus on using your breath. Okay, so as we inhale, think about lifting and lengthening through the spine. And then as we exhale, think about relaxing the upper body and trying to bring the chest a little bit closer to the floor. So let's stay with that for 5 breaths. We inhale, lift and lengthen. We exhale, relax. And inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, relax. Chest comes down a little bit more. 2 more. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, relax. Last one. Inhale to lift. And exhale, relax. And when you're ready, just slowly walking your fingers back up. So you're seated nice and tall. And then from there, just bring the soles of the feet together. And then bring the body as close to the heels as what's comfortable for our butterfly posture. Okay, so in this posture, we're sitting equally through both sit bones, sitting up nice and tall. Relax the shoulders down and then just gently using the elbows to press down on the calves as if you're trying to get both knees to the floor or to the mat. Nice. Cool. And then from there, I'm just going to pivot around, but you guys don't need to, just so you can see what's going on a little bit better. From there, we're going to leave our feet where they are and close to the body, and we're going to lower down onto our backs on the mat, okay, for reclined butterfly. Okay, in this posture, just let the knees fall open. You might feel a little bit more of a stretch here, and then our thighs, as you let gravity do a bit more of the work. And again, just coming back to the breath. Maybe put one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. And just feel the belly rise and the belly fall with every breath that we take. As the belly falls with every exhale, try and let the knees fall a little bit closer to the floor. And when you're ready, we're just going to roll, bring the knees up and roll flat onto your feet. Keeping the back flat on the floor or mat. So bringing your knees in to the chest and giving yourself a big hug. Imagine yourself as a little ball as tight as you can go. And then exhale, release the ball. This time we're going to take just the right foot on the floor. So right foot is flat on the floor. My left leg is then going to come up, and I'm just going to place the ankle on the outside of the just above the knee joint of the right knee or right leg. And then just extend the right leg and bring it up into this figure four shape. So hopefully you can see what's going on here, okay? Staying active through this toe, pointing the toes up. And then my options are either interlace the hands just behind the right thigh, or I can bend this knee if I want a little bit more from the stretch and interlace the hands just at the shin. Okay, again, we're staying active through this stretch, so we're actually going to try and hug our right knee in a little bit deeper with each breath. Getting a little bit deeper into that left hip socket. Keeping the left toes pointed. Elbows in, back nice and flat. Good guys, and don't fight it, just using the breath to relax. Nice. And then as we exhale, just let go of the fingers, interlace. And then from here, we're just going to bring the left knee back down onto the mat and then just switch legs. Okay, so wherever you were before, creating that figure four shape, you're either straight or you're interlacing the fingers just below the knee, pushing that right knee out and hugging that knee in. Good, nice and tight, and just a couple more breaths here. And exhale, release. And take the foot back on the floor. This time we're going to take the left leg out long and then bring the right knee into the chest. Interlace the fingers just below the knee and then gently just pulling the knee underneath as if you're trying to get it underneath the right armpit. So again, just applying a little bit of pressure here. Back is flat, hips are square. Nice deep breaths. This is a great posture. It's almost like a massage for your internal organs. So they say in yoga, this one helps with digestion just by applying a little bit of pressure there on that right hip socket. So just breathe and enjoy the benefits of the posture. On your next inhale, you're going to take your left arm to the outside of the right knee and then just gently pull that right knee over to the left side of the room. As we do that, take the right arm out long and bring your gaze over the right shoulder to the right side of the room. If you want a wee bit more from the stretch, you can then extend that right leg and point the toes to the left side of the room. Okay, so we're getting a nice spinal twist here. Really allowing yourself to relax into it. Try and really grind down through that right shoulder as well. We don't want it to be too lifted, although depending on how tight we are, it might be. But again, just relax. The more you breathe into it, the more you relax, the deeper into the posture you'll get. And when you're ready, just bend that right knee. Slowly bring it back to centre. And bring it back out long on the mat. Again, just take a few breaths to take notice now of how your right leg's feeling compared to your left leg. And we're going to repeat all the same again on the left. Okay, so left knee comes up to the chest, interlace the fingers. You might want to interlace the opposite way this time. And then gently clasping the fingers just below the knee and the shin. We're gently applying a little bit of pressure and trying to get that left knee underneath the left armpit. So, and just breathe here. Last breath. And then with your exhale, just gently pulling that left knee over the right and take the arm out long. And if you want a wee bit more from it, just kicking the right foot out and bringing your gaze over the left shoulder. And take one final big inhale here. And exhale. And when you're ready, just bring that knee back in. Hug both knees into the chest. Give yourself a final big hug. And then exhale. Just allow your knees to fall to one side. Using your hand, you can gently push up to a seated position. And we'll just end by sitting up nice and tall, relaxing down through the shoulders, sitting equally on both sit bones. Bring the hands to heart center and namaste. Perfect. And hopefully you're feeling nice and loose throughout the hips in that cross-legged position now. Cool, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for doing it with me, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, bye.